Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about the average returns of the PSEi, Philippine Stock Exchange Index from 2010 to 2022. Let's start with 2010. On that year, nag-open yung PSEi at 3,051.30. Then highest na nakuha on that year was 4,413.42. Lowest was 2,787.66 and nag-close siya at around 4,201.14. And the annual change for that year was at 37.68%. And on this 13-year stretch, this was the highest. And this was computed by comparing the opening points of the PSEi and the closing points of the PSEi. Then the following year, nag-open at 4,206.01, then highest 4,563.65, nag-low ng 3,715.01, and nag-close ng 4,371.96. So just a 3.95% return. Not really that bad since at least hindi negative yung return for that year. And the following year, magandang year ulit, 32.95% yung annual change. If we compare the open na 4,371 and nag-close noong 2012 at 5,812. So the economy is booming on this year. And this was the recovery years from the financial crisis noong 2008 to 2009. Then the following year, medyo naging flat lang ulit, 5,810.47 nag-open, then nag 5,889.83 nag-close, up ng 1.37%. And this was the last stretch na 5 years straight merong positive gains yung PSEi. Then after that, medyo puro negative na. Although, may mga maganda pa rin namang years like 2017 and 2019. And then, noong 2014, doon na nag-boom yung PSEi. And nag-open nung year na to ng 5,923.72. Then, nag-close at 7,230.70. And yung change ito, annual change is around 22.06%. In 2015, negative yung return niya kasi marami na rin nag-take profit for sure at that time since nag-high na siya ng 7,000. And in 2014 din, nag-high na rin ng 7,400. So probably they were thinking, nag-high pa pala ng 8,100 nung 2015. That's why medyo naging mahina yung market at the end of the year. And the following year, negative lang ulit yung return, but bumalik sa 8,100 on 2016. Although hindi siya na-sustain, nag-close at 6,840.64. The following year, maganda ulit yung performance ng market, 6,840.06, nag-close ng 8,558.42. So, nag-rally na yung market by the end of the year. Nag-close and yung annual gain for that year, 2017, is 25.12%. Then 2018, ito yung highest na nakuha na points ng PSEi in its history. So 9,078.37. That is the all-time high of the PSEi. Nag-open that year at 8,584. So this was kind of expected na rin for this year, like yung mga forecasts. If you review yung mga disclosures and like mga analysis for that year. Sobrang bullish. Although nag-close siya with a negative return for the whole year. But again, we're just comparing here yung open and yung close. But this year, doon nakuha yung all-time high. Then the following year, nag-open at 7,496 and then nag-close at 7,815. And we all know na nag-start yung pandemic ng 2020, hindi na gano'ng kaganda yung naging performance ng PSEi. Although if you compare it sa performance ng S&P 500, yung mid-year ng S&P 500 is hindi ganun kaganda, but naka-recover sila by the end of the year. And noong 2021, nagsiset na ulit sila ng mga all-time high. Although yung PSEi, it fell flat after the pandemic. Although may mga stocks na member ng PSEi na maganda yung naging recovery, but piling stocks lang din talaga yung kumbaga naging bullish and sumabay dun sa bull run ng S&P 500, ng Nasdaq, and ng cryptocurrencies. As you can see here, puro negative return yung binibigay ng PSEi since 2020. And again, we're just comparing here yung open and yung close. Although, the main point that I want to give sa episode na to is yung mga returns, average returns, and longer time frames. So, when we call it long term, sabihin natin 5 years or more. So, nagbigay lang ng negative return yung PSEi in a 5-year span from 2018 to 2022. And yung 2022 hindi pa nga tapos. So, we're not sure if negative 9.8% nga yung ibibigay sa atin ng PSEi this year. Kasi this might be 0, pwedeng flat lang, maging 7,100 ulit tayo, pwedeng mas bumaba pa, or pwedeng mas tumaas. It would really depend kung ano yung maging close by December. So this was the only period na may negative return. Kasi as you can see here, 2018 is not really good, and 2019 lang yung may positive return. So obviously, maging negative yung average for the past 5 years. Although, if we go from 2010 to 2022, that is a 13-year average return of 6.96%. Not really that bad. Kasi that is the average. Average ng returns sa mga stock market na mga indices is 5 to 10% per year. From 2012 to 2021, 10-year average return is 5.86. 2017 to 2021, 5-year average return is 1.69. So you're still in the green. And the best year or the best 5-year stretch and the last 13 years sa PSEi was from 2010 to 2014. 5-year average return is 19.60%. And this was the stretch again na every single year positive yung returns ng PSEi. Then for 2013 naman to 2022, 10-year average return is 1.59%. Although we're technically tanking 2018, 2020, 2021, and 2022, positive pa rin yung return if mas mahaba yung time frame na titingnan natin. Let's view yung long-term average returns para mas ma-visualize natin. Tingnan natin yung chart. So again, ito yung numbers for 2010 to 2022, the past 13 years. So 6.96% pa rin yung return. Then 2012 to 2021, 5.86%. Then we have 2017 to 2021, 1.69%. And again, the biggest was from 2010 to 2014. And the negative nga lang yung return in a 5-year span from 2018 up until the present. And again, this is still subject to changes pag natapos na yung taon. Then from 2013 to 2022, 10-year stretch, 1.59%. So bakit ganito yung returns ng PSEi? It's kinda underwhelming, to be honest. Isang reason dito is because yung investment is naka-scatter among 30 stocks. And yung 30 stocks na yun is nagbabago. Hindi naman every single year, but yeah, may kinikick out sila sa PSEi if hindi na ma-match yung criteria ng company na yun or ng stock na yun. So isang example niyan, believe tinanggal nila before yung Emperador, if I'm not mistaken, and Semirara Mining. So yun yung mga tinanggal nila before. Kasi, for example, hindi na ganun kataas yung trading volume, hindi na ganun kataas yung market capitalization, and hindi na ganun kataas yung free float level. So yung mga basic na kumbaga criteria or requirement para maging member ka or malist ka sa index, sa PSEi. And kaya ganito lang din yung returns sa longer time period is because again, diversified ka. So, yung risk is hindi rin ganun kataas kasi you're only investing sa mga top companies here in the Philippines. So, mas mataas kasi yung risk, 'di ba? Kapag pumunta ka dun sa alternative na ikaw yung pipili ng sarili mong stocks. Although, may minimize mo rin naman yung risks mo if you're only investing in PSEi stocks na dividend paying stocks. In my opinion, that is better kasi mas mataas yung magiging volume mo for one particular stock or sabihin natin collection of 3 to 5 stocks. Mas mataas yung volume, ibig sabihin mas madaming shares na mabibili mo and mas madami din yung mga dividend payments na mabibigay sa'yo kasi mas mataas yung shares na hawak mo dun sa particular stock na yun. That's why picking your own stocks, even though it elevates your risk, tinataasan ito or tumataas yung risk mo sa mga investments mo. But the return is much higher. Again, higher risk, higher reward. But if you can't stomach that and if you don't really want to give the effort na mag-research sa mga companies and do all of the work, then you can stick with indexing. And hindi lang naman PSEi yung pwede natin pag-investan sa ngayon. Kasi it's so much easier to invest in US stocks and US index or ETFs compared, sabihin natin, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So before you have to, for example, open a dollar account, you have to open a stockbroker na dapat US based, something like that. So it's much harder before compared to now. Like ngayon, pwede natin gamitin GoTrade. We have eToro and other alternatives. And we can already invest sa mga US ETF, sa mga US stocks. And historically din kasi mas maganda yung returns ng mga indexes or ng mga companies or ng mga stocks from the US in comparison to the Philippines. Especially kapag i-compare natin head-to-head yung S&P 500 and PSEi. Then last one, let's check yung annual percentage change versus the year. So again, the highest was nung 2010, 37.68%. Sobrang bumaba nung 2011 kasi medyo overheated din yung market by the end of 2010. Then nag-bounce ulit, nag-32.95% noong 2012, then fell flat noong 2013. And then 22.06% noong 2014. So kung makita na rin natin yung trend dito, kumbaga diminishing returns din yung binibigay ng PSEi. But we still have to stretch out the data. Well, personally for me, I still have to input more data here para matingnan natin kung ano ba yung returns from 2000 to 2009, from 1990 to 1999. So that is, of course, my homework and I'll share it with you guys as soon as I'm done. Then, noong 2015, naging negative nga. 2016, negative ulit. 2017, nag-bounce ng maganda. 25.12%. And noong 2018, doon nag-all-time high yung PSEi, but again, nag-dump siya by the end of the year. Naka-recover ng konti noong 2019, and eventually, the pandemic happened. So, 3 straight na negative returns from 2020 to 2022. But of course, yung 2022 is still, it might go up, it might go down, or pwede maging flat na lang or maging sideways. The more time you spend invested in the market, the less risky it gets. There's this one study showing that if you were invested at least 20 years or more in the S&P 500, that is the stock index sa United States, your chance of making money is 100%. So if you're invested at least 20 years, 30 years or more, your chance of making money is 100%. So you can't lose basically. You're basically unbeatable if you're invested in the market for more than 20 years, making your investment less risky. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na dahil nangyari lang in the past, it will also happen in the future. Hindi ganun yun. Although may mga forecast, and again, we're looking at data from 1871 up until, I think the study up was noong 2013, so up until 2012. So if you hold your investments for 20 years or more, you are essentially unbeatable. It's not gonna be a smooth ride, and it's definitely not going to be easy, but is it worth it? Of course. You're investing passively. You don't really care about the price fluctuations week in, week out. And after 2 decades, it's almost guaranteed that you're making money from your investments. And you don't really have to stress if maglabas na ba yung earnings ng ganitong stock, nag-dump yung ganitong stock, magka-cut loss ba ako, bibili pa ba ako ng mas madami. You don't really care about that stuff. Kasi you're just indexing, your peso cost averaging, your dollar cost averaging. I know that it's not the sexiest, it's not the most attractive and popular thing to do, but investing passively on an index is the best strategy for most people, especially if your reason for not investing is that you don't have time. Kasi we all have time, we just misuse it most of the time. There you have it, guys. Let's end the episode here. Sana may natutunan kayo, and if umabot kayo at the end of this video, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if natripan niyo yung content ko. And if hindi naman, give this video a thumbs down. If you're new, subscribe to my channel para wala kayong ma-miss out sa mga uploads ko every single day. You may also follow me sa mga social media platforms ko. I'm at TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MNPSPH. Thanks again for watching and listening, everyone. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next episode. Always remember, be Peso smart.